Hello and welcome to Life with Randy and Grace, LIFE, living in full expression. We have some interesting things to talk about today, don't we, honey?
As always. Hopefully.
Hopefully. Anyway, we're talking about planning family vacations and trying to avoid the meltdowns because let me tell you, there can be a few. So vacations, they are meant to recharge us, give us more energy, but every once in a while, they might leave us needing another vacation.
Or more than once in a while.
So I don't know if this is more about giving you tips or just telling you our experiences so you can avoid the things that we did.
Well, we've got some tips to talk about, and it's all the things we did not do. We had a real meltdown on one vacation and, a couple of other close calls. But I got to tell you, we've talked about, Grace and I on this podcast, we've talked about retirement. We've talked about moving. We haven't talked about anything as difficult as this, trying to plan a family vacation. And, when I was looking at these tips we came up with, looking back on what we should do, I don't think we did any of them. But we do.
Well, hindsight is 20/20.
Well, I can vouch that if you don't do them, you could have some serious issues. So,
and if you do them, you can avoid some things that we didn't avoid. So,
well, on our meltdown, I think where were we in Europe? We were in Europe. We had the kids.
Which one?
And by the way, the age of the kids certainly matters on how you plan it. I mean, you don't want to ask a 2-year-old what they'd like to do on vacation, but you better ask a 10-year-old. So we'll get to that. But I'll never forget this one time. We're on a bus going from one hotel or towards a tour. I don't know. We're on this bus and we were going to do something. And my son said, "What are we doing, Dad?" I don't want to do that. And my daughter said, "I don't either. I don't want to do that." And then you didn't really want to do it either.
I didn't really want to do it.
And she made the comment and I just broke down. I think I started crying. I went, "I spent all this money. I did all this planning and none of you care." It was a disaster. So anyway. What to do?
That didn't happen that often, though.
No.
It really didn't. That was one time, though. It just was a lot of sightseeing and a lot of walking. He was trying so hard to pack so many things in to one wonderful trip. Didn't work.
We're going to get to that. We're going to get to all the things I did wrong. Okay. Okay. So tips on trying to make this vacation for the family really be enjoyable. First of all, if you can set expectations early and talk as a family in the planning stage, that can go a long, long way.
Okay, but you're going to talk. I understand the kids were young, but you're not going to talk to a 10-year-old about an adult trip, and that's another thing. But you can make as many plans as you want, but
I think you are going to talk to a 10-year-old or already know the 10-year-old well enough to know what they like to do.
Bingo.
Because you have to do things that everybody is going to enjoy. Not everybody doesn't have to enjoy everything, but everybody has to enjoy some things or it can get messy. So yes. I still think expectations, talking where we're even if we don't get the kids too involved in the planning, it's good to say, here's where we're going. Here's what we're going to do. Here's what you can expect. I think that's a very good step to have a meeting, talk about it, expectations before you go.
Yeah.
And I could cancel the trip right there. I don't want to do that, Dad. I don't want to do that.
Just remember, there's one scripture that says that you can plan all your days, but it's the Lord who's going to determine your steps. So we can make plans, but you have to have room for a change. I think that's the key. You make the plan, you talk to the people, you know them before.
But at least if you set it up, there's a certain mindset if you're looking forward to something you might like to do, rather than, oh, brother, I got to go along with this. So I think it's important to talk about it and get opinions and expectations. I never did that. We didn't. I didn't. And I think it's important.
Yeah.
So, and the other thing you just mentioned, another tip, and I'm terrible at this.
Tip number 1.
Don't overschedule like I do. I plan too many things, too much on the go. And I think everybody gets tired and cranky and whatever.
Right.
Would you agree?
I definitely agree. I mean, people get tired. You need to build time in for rest. Mark chapter 6, verse 31. He tells his disciples, go be by yourselves and get some rest. I mean, you got a big schedule you're working on. Go get some rest. So yeah, don't overschedule. Tip number 2.
If he said it, I'm going with
Here we go.
So, and the other thing is I thought especially with kids that are, I guess even with adults, front end load the day because people get tired, adults and kids. So front end load the day with the most active thing or the most hectic thing, whatever, and then make it a little easier, more leisurely as the day goes on, and leave some time for rest, like you
gotta
said.
leave some time for rest.
But I'm terrible at it. I really overschedule. I try to pack, we're only gonna be there 4 days or whatever, and I try to get everything in, and that's not a good idea. Not a good idea.
Not a good idea.
Okay.
Another
thing we never did. And I'm not sure how good a tip this is, but a lot of people say you should assign roles. Have one person, if you're driving, can pick the music. This is risky, but for whatever. Or someone chooses what kind of food they want to eat one night, another night.
Well, we did a lot of that.
We've done that.
We've done a lot of that.
But share responsibility and give people little jobs. I think that's good at anything in life. You give people kind of assignments.
Romans 12, verses 4 and 5. Everybody has a talent. Everybody has a talent and should be able to contribute that function to the plan.
Well, maybe we should just tell everybody to use artificial intelligence, go to the Bible and talk about a vacation and read the Bible.
Well, I would tell everybody to read the Bible, but I'm telling you, no matter what topic you have, there is an answer there. But anyway, yes, we should assign roles because everybody has different talents, and you should make use of those talents. What? That's not a good thing?
No, I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
What, just because it came from the Bible? It wasn't?
No, it came from the Bible. It's fabulous.
Well,
I haven't read too many bad things from the Bible. So
anyway, I think that's very good because I think that's one thing. That was tip number 3. That we didn't do a lot. We always felt so responsible and, for everything. So I think we didn't give enough time for feedback.
All right.
So, right?
Right. So you already mentioned this. Build in decompression time. If you're going to schedule things in the morning, leave time for rest. And don't overschedule. I repeat that. That is so important. But build decompression time. Even just sitting by the pool, or have one afternoon every 2 days where you have nothing scheduled and you do nothing. So the other thing is, and I'm not good at this either. I'm not good at any of this.
Food
is nutrition. Stay hydrated and keep snacks for nutrition in case there's issues with the buses later for meals or whatever. Have we ever done that really? Well, not enough.
Okay. What is this? Vacation bashing schedule? No, we have done, we always have snacks in the car and that kind of thing. Of course we do. And we always like to stop to eat. We like to do that. But in James chapter 2, verse 15, he tells us, don't just tell people to stay well fed, provide for them. I mean, that's a mandate. So yes, it's important that you plan meals, and definitely stop for hydration. That's a very important thing because people get cranky.
Some more than others.
Some more than others.
If you don't eat, you are the queen of cranks.
I am. I get very cranky if I don't eat. So yes, you have to make sure you have plenty of time for eating. And if you're on vacation, you want to try everything. You want to try something for breakfast, and then you want to try something else in between before you have lunch, and then you want to have lunch, and then maybe you'll try a new thing between
that's what I'm good
lunch
at.
And dinner.
I'm good at gaining weight on vacation. I eat all the time. So
we'll have to when we tell you about our Italy trip. I mean, you can't not eat as you're walking on the road.
Or on a cruise ship.
We're big cruises. God. We like cruises.
Which,
so, yes.
I think my record is gained 8 pounds in a week on a cruise ship because they're not making any money off me. I'm going to eat everything I can.
Suffice to say, we enjoy eating.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Another thing to be on the lookout for is, and this is kind of difficult, is be on the lookout when people are starting to get overwhelmed or tired or irritable, and try to cut it off at the pass before you have the meltdown like we had that one time. So that's probably a good idea, to be sensitive to people, which says, I'm the planner. This is a lot of work. I have to do all this, be sensitive to people.
Well,
and I'm trying to be on vacation. That's not easy to do.
No, but I think that when you're planning a family vacation, I think one of the key things is you don't always have to be together all of the time. People need time alone. So if you're going to talk about decompressing or not being overwhelmed, you need to plan to have time alone. You need to not be rigid. You need to be able to say, hey, we're meeting at 10 or 8 for breakfast. But if you don't want to do that and you want to grab something and take it along with you, if you want to eat later, go do it. That's a fine thing, So I think that's a very, very important thing. Again, even Jesus withdrew from the crowd to be alone. He did. He did.
So another thing is a good idea, I think, is everybody should have an entertainment kit, a backpack, or a book you want to read, or everybody has phones these days. You can, if your phone has still got juice, you can get on your phone.
That's dangerous.
Or a crossword book, something you can do if things stall, if you get a little bored, or if you're waiting for the next event or whatever, that you can stay occupied and do something that you like doing. I think that's relaxing, where you're not sitting there waiting, being anxious. You don't think that's a good idea?
Well, yeah, I do. Most people bring a book to read or whatever, but I also think that
on the plane, but not when they're out going to the Parthenon or something. You know how long we had to wait for those buses to get up to the Parthenon?
So we weren't standing in line reading books.
Well, maybe we should have. I was getting very irritated. So maybe we should have.
No, but I'll tell you what we do. And that is when we're driving a long way to a destination, it can be very boring, especially if one person is doing the driving, which he usually does. And we have, I guess, our entertainment kit. We bring crossword puzzles so that we can spend the time doing crosswords while he's driving. So that fills the bill on that. I don't know if you're going to do a crossword while you're standing in line waiting to get on a bus. But yes, you have to know what little things fill your time, that keep you engaged. And like you said, these days with iPads and all that kind of stuff, if you're talking about young people, they always have things. And that's a dangerous thing, because then they get involved in that and they don't want to go do what you want to do. So you know what I think?
No, tell us.
I think people need to be less serious. I think you need to laugh a little bit. Laughter is the best medicine. And I think people get hung up on, itinerary. And if you make this, or if you miss that, or, just relax. You're on vacation. Don't go there.
I'm not saying a word. I'm not saying a word.
However, you have to know who you're traveling with, because you can't be so relaxed when somebody else is like, you have to be here at this time.
Well, but that's interesting. This is our problem on vacation, because she wants to relax, and I'm like, we paid $35 a piece to get into this museum, and if you're not there before it closes, forget it. You're not going. So I can't be as relaxed as she can be. I'm like, we need to be there. We set it up. We paid for it. I want to make sure we get in. And you and the kids are like, oh, let's have some ice cream. Let's go over here and let's do this. And come to think of it, I don't have much fun on vacation. I got too much on my mind.
No, but you have to know yourself. I have learned that I have to be. I have to be more serious. But we were getting married.
Oh, we almost didn't. You don't know how close we came.
We were getting married. So we obviously we knew each other enough to know that we wanted to get married, but there were certain little idiosyncrasies that each one of us had that maybe we didn't know so much about. So here we are going to the airport, and we're carrying our no, we checked our clothes.
Yeah.
Wedding gown, all that kind of stuff, right? We checked it all.
No,
and anyway, we almost didn't make it to the gate. He was like, "We have to get in the car now."
That was all pre-sent out there where we got married.
Oh, right.
And I couldn't get you ready to go because she hates to be early. She thinks it's a total waste of her time. She thinks she wastes 15% of her life or 20 by being early. Or if she's on time, it's not wasteful. And then if it's canceled, she didn't waste much at all. So anyway, that's the way she thinks.
Well,
what happened was we started late at the airport. There was a traffic jam.
yeah.
I almost had a heart attack. The wedding was scheduled, everything for the next day. And this was the last flight out. And they were closing the door when we got to the plane. It's a wonder I had enough energy,
Okay.
unstressed enough to get married. I was good. I was terrible.
So, note to former self:
But you know what
don't
she'll say?
stress people
She'll
out.
say,
No,
we made it.
but we
We
did
made
make it. We did make it. We did make it.
Yeah, we did.
We did. God turns all things to good for those who love Him. We made it. If we were to go through chapter and verse on everything that he was worried and upset about, 98% of the time, if not 100%, it all worked out.
Yeah, thanks to my planning and pushing you and pulling you into the car. Yes. So
Okay.
things just don't, and you know this, things just don't happen.
No, you have to have a
make
plan.
them happen.
Yes.
Okay, good. So back to our tips. Where were we? We talked about everybody needs something to get excited about. We talked about high energy morning, lower energy afternoon. This is an important one. Prioritize sleep. Leave time to sleep. Make sure that you have that. I mean, when I used to go on skiing with my son, snow skiing, he wanted to be the first one on the lift. I guess I did too. Lift starts at 8:30. We have to get up like at 7, and we're tired from traveling the night before. And so I could hardly stand up by the end of the day. We were so tired. And the next day we did it all over. So we started taking a day off later to recuperate.
Right, because if you don't plan sleep, then somebody in the party makes a big plan to fly you somewhere so you can see something wonderful like the the Grand Canyon. And if you haven't had enough sleep while you're on this wonderful trip that somebody paid a lot of money for, you fall asleep. That was me. I fell asleep.
Trip over the Grand Canyon, our own little tiny airplane, it's like, I don't know, a while ago, $300 a piece. Lift off, flying for about 15 minutes to get there. We get there, you have little earphones, pilots talking about it. Here we have the South Rim, and she's snoring back, and she's sound asleep.
Sound asleep. So you don't want to do that. You got to plan sleep.
It's no wonder we stay married, what you put me through. Nobody said, think about this. What you put me through. It's not easy.
No, and you know what? Go back to the retirement plan. You got to make sure that you know who you're living with.
Okay. Would you like to, this is right up your alley. Would you like to do number 11?
Number 11.
Yeah, that's it.
Did we do 10 tips already?
Yes.
Okay. Lowering the stakes. Remember, the goal is not perfection. It's shared memories. Absolutely. Sometimes
I
the
knew
best,
you'd like that one.
some of the best memories are when things go wrong, and you can laugh about how you adjusted the plan and the things that you did and, how it happened. It's a wonderful thing when things go wrong. You get to do a new adventure.
Not in my opinion. Occasionally. but not in my opinion. You're doing great. Go ahead. These are all, I can't even talk to, these are all yours.
Okay, so let's see. What were some of our imperfections?
We've already named it. Number. Well, we'll talk about our vacation in a minute. Go through the last two tips. You'll love them. You'll love them.
Okay, so anyway, lower the stakes. Things are not perfect. You know, we all fall short of perfection, all fall short of God's glory. So just laugh through it. Again, don't be so serious about it. Sometimes things don't work out exactly the way you needed them to. Pause before reacting. If people are grouchy or hungry or cranky, didn't get enough sleep, didn't get to do something that they wanted to do, and they snap, because the people do snap. We've had some snappers. You have to sit back, pause, be quiet. James chapter 1, verse 19, he tells us, quick to listen, slow to speak, slow to become angry. So you really need to pause before responding in situations like that. With another reason why sleep is important, and not being overwhelmed is important, and not, allowing everybody to have their say is important. All of that comes into play here, because you don't want people to be cranky and upset and nasty. Right?
I couldn't agree more.
Okay. So anyway, when you're calm, you can calm other people as well. So somebody needs to stay calm. Okay. Celebrate small moments. That's fun. We do that.
Yeah, and I'm going to do it a lot more, because with all the stress I go through on these vacations, any small movement, I'm having a good time, I'm going to celebrate it. I'm going to love it. I'm going to definitely do that one.
We do that. We definitely do that. And I think most people do that. It's fun to celebrate the small moments, to, even if it's kind of like a joke, yesterday was meltdown day, but thanks for being so patient today, or, oh, wow, I'm really glad you mixed that drink wrong, because we needed to laugh that day.
I talk about a lot what I haven't done, and I do wrong, and I do a lot wrong in these vacations. I have never heard you say, thank you for being patient today, Randy. That's never come out of your mouth.
That's true.
Now, that's either because I've never been patient, or because I was and you didn't celebrate it. Okay. I'm not sure which it is.
Okay, I'm not sure that's exactly true. There are a lot of thank yous in this house that go back and forth.
Well, sure, but being patient, I don't remember that one.
I don't know. Well, that might not be one of your talents. We always say thank you for planning. Thank you for providing.
No,
thank you for building. Thank you.
Used to, yeah.
Now,
we've covered all these tips, but this is a very complex subject. It depends on what kind of vacation, that you'd like to go on. If, we like to go on vacations where we learn, go to museums, have people talk, whatever on the cruise ship, theme cruise, we like to learn. Our kids really didn't want to learn. They want to go jump in the water slide, which is normal kids, and do all that. So, and it depends on the age of the
right.
kids.
So if you're going on a kid vacation, go on a kid vacation.
Yeah.
Don't expect that you're going to have,
Don't try to do it all.
An education vacation. And, even sometimes, like when we're traveling together, I'll say, okay, you know what? I'm going to do this city bus tour thing today while you're doing something else. Like if he's playing golf or whatever. So yes, people get the opportunity, but if you're mixing it with kids, my advice is do a kids thing, a total kids thing, because it's hard to mix a kids thing with an adult thing. Unless your family relationship, my family never went on vacation. My parents never, my father had 3 jobs. My mother cooked and cleaned. That was the end of that. And I could only go on vacation with my brother and sister. But you went camping, right? Your family liked to camp. you have funny stories about the mishaps that happened camping, and
We love to go camping, but my father loved to go camping. We never went on camping is not that kind of learning vacation.
no,
Camping is surviving
No.
and having fun.
yes, but I was saying, that was in my reference to kids versus adults.
Oh,
So that's what that was in reference to. So that was, even the kids and the adults enjoyed that because they all love to camp, and to fish and do whatever they did in that
and
camper.
that's a good one where everybody has a job to do and you work together and this camping trips are a lot of fun and some sightseeing. Kids don't like to sightsee like adults do, but our kids don't even like fireworks. We used to take them to fireworks. They go to sleep in the back seat.
Yes,
So you got to
we
figure out
take
what
them
they
to the
like.
fireworks and they fell asleep. I liked them,
Yeah. So anyway,
but there are a lot of funny stories like in your camping trips when things went wrong and now they're great memories, right? Celebrating memories, not things not being perfect.
true. There was a lot of family memories from the camping trip.
Right.
That was good.
What about the time that I wasn't even there, and I love this story about the time your mother took over driving because your dad needed to take a rest?
Oh, my father, he'd come home from the Elks Club. He'd had a few pops. So I would drive a lot and, or my brother, and then my mother joined in. So we're on the way. We lived in North Carolina. We're on the way to the Outer Banks on a camping trip. We get to, I'll never forget this, Columbia to have breakfast. It's about 5:30 in the morning. We stop to have breakfast. We're all really tired. We get back in the car. Mother's driving. As soon as we got back in the car, we were asleep immediately. When we woke up 2 hours later, she had come 2 hours back towards home, not even towards where we were going. Not to mention the fact that the thermos of coffee spilled all over my entire lap. There's some family vacation
That's a
stories.
family
That's when
vacation
you
story.
said bad things can be funny later.
Absolutely.
Not at the time. Do you remember the time we're going on vacation to
Can't
Europe
wait to
somewhere?
hear this one.
And we're taking the dog to her parents' house.
Oh!
We're taking the dog to her parents' house in New York to watch the dog.
Right.
while
This
we're
was
on
the
vacation.
whole reason that we were going to
Yeah.
New York. The whole reason
To take the dog.
to take the dog so
it
my
was
parents
about-
could babysit the
We
dog.
lived in Delaware. It was about a 3.5 hour drive to New York. So we're driving on the interstate. We're going up to New York. We're excited about the vacation. And
We're
about
halfway there.
an hour and a half into the trip, hour 45, all of a sudden she
But
looks
wait,
at me.
no, there was a reason I looked at you. Okay,
Why?
so we're driving. It's an hour and a half into the trip. And some car does some crazy thing that Randy got really upset about. And how could people be
Oh, yeah.
so silly?
No, so
How-
stupid.
how-
They're still so stupid.
And with that reminder,
Yep.
he just said that. And everything just clicked. And I looked at him and I said, why are we going to New York?
And I went, it dawned on me, oh my God, we forgot the dog. We had to turn, and I just talked about how stupid
Stupid that
people can
person,
be.
right.
And we had to turn around and go all the way back. I was so hacked off on that. I want to forget that. And you handled that well. You handled all that stuff well.
Well, I mean, laugh. Was that monkey song? Laugh, ho, ha, ha, ha. And the music is funny.
I never heard that song.
Yes.
No, never heard that
Okay.
song. in my
Anybody
life.
who knows the Monkees, just write to me and tell me you remember that song.
Okay, so anyway,
Okay.
vacations can be complex. There's a lot to it. I think it's harder than retiring. So to go on a vacation that everybody loves if you have a family. But anyway, it can be celebrate the small moments and have fun where
Okay.
you can.
So let's just go over in case anybody is actually listening to these tips. Set expectations early so everybody knows what to expect. 2, don't overschedule. 3, give everybody a job. Everybody has a role. 4, remember to eat and stay hydrated. 5, build in time to rest and decompress. 6, be able to know when the people in your group are getting overwhelmed. Everybody needs, that's his entertainment kit thing. Number 7, mix it up a little bit. High energy in the morning, low energy in the afternoons, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Everyone, number 8, everyone should have something that they're really excited about doing on this particular trip. Number 9, probably the biggest one of all. Absolutely make sure you prioritize getting some sleep. Oh, you know what? We didn't really talk about this tip. Number 10. Don't fight the weather. Be ready to be flexible and not do something outside if the weather is not complying with your plan.
Or have a plan B.
Have a plan B.
Have a plan.
Tip number 11, don't expect things to be perfect. Just lower the expectations or the stakes.
I really like
And
perfect.
I know you like perfect, honey. I know. But again, those little hiccups become very funny stories later on. Number 12, pause, stay calm, don't react. Just because someone's upset, you don't have to be upset back at them. Relax, stay calm. And number 13, celebrate the small moments.
Ready for questions?
Yes. Well, Tom from Fort Myers, we know Fort Myers, says, we love to travel, but long days wear us out. Any low stress ideas? Yes, sleep.
Well, I think we've given a lot of ways to de-stress a vacation, but if it's a long trip and you're driving 12 hours, just stop and rest so you don't have an accident and, get something to eat, but just take it easy. Don't plan. Maybe you shouldn't plan to drive that far in one day, and everybody starts the vacation then really tired.
Well,
so there's all kinds of ways.
Especially when we just did that trip to Barcelona and we were planning it with his cousin, and his cousin was like, oh, when we get to Barcelona, we need to do this, and this. And Randy, who is very experienced and likes to make plans, suggested that we don't plan anything after our long trip to get there. So yes, you need to plan that travel time and need to rest after that long travel so that you have energy to do whatever it is you're
And a lot
trying
of
to
the
do.
tips we've already covered deal right in with this, how
Right.
to lower the stress.
Lower the stress,
Oh,
right.
there's a lot.
Don't make the day that long, you don't have to pack everything in on any given day, you'll go back again. You'll have another trip.
Margaret, Knoxville, Tennessee. She had Connie.
I haven't been there.
How can we balance couple time and family time when traveling together? Wow, now that's a challenge. I guess she means the adult time versus the children time, couple time versus
Yeah.
family time. So you just have to plan. You have to plan it out. If a couple are going to do something together, if they're young, some of these, like a cruise ship has babysitters, or plan activities where it's kind of hard. It depends on the age of the kids. If you have like teenagers, it's easy. The teenagers can do one thing, and the parents can do something else, eat in a different place, whatever, but not with small kids. So planning is the key to that. You have to plan it out, or it just won't happen.
Well, and again, so if you're talking children, you need to know if you are taking a cruise that particular cruise line has babysitting. But if you're talking more adult children, what we said before about allowing everybody to have their space, so that you can say, hey, Dad and I are going to dinner tonight, and you guys, there's a movie playing, or you have your entertainment kit. So, one of the things that we didn't talk, maybe make a big point about, communicate.
Yep.
How do you plan trips with adult kids without paying for everything?
Well, I think there's an answer to that. If you want to do it and keep the peace, is the discussion, communicate ahead of time. We'd like to go on this vacation. We'd like you guys to go. We can't afford to pay for everything. We'll help out maybe here and here. Can you afford to pay for this and this? And work it out ahead of time with expectations so that the kids don't expect you to pay for everything. And then if you don't, they get upset or whatever. I think the whole deal here is talk about it ahead of time, communicate, and set expectations.
Yeah, I think that I know with us, we can get into a pattern. And if we have a pattern where we're always paying for everything, then there's going to be an expectation that if we suggest traveling together, that we're going to pay for everything. So I think that some of that starts just within your relationship to be able to say, we'd like to go. This restaurant may be more expensive than you like. What do you think? And letting them know that we can't pay for everything, like you just said. You have to just be upfront and honest about that. And hopefully your kids understand that you can't continue to pay for everything all the time.
And speaking of complications, here's another complication on vacations. Maybe you need a pet-friendly hotel. Maybe the pets don't go and you have a good sitter
hello.
at home. Hello. This is one of two that we have, so we always have to take care of our pups and try to figure out what we're going to do there.
Right. So if you have kids who are traveling and they have pets, make sure you know that they know that you're not paying for their pet sitter.
Okay.
So anyway, they're complicated things. You got to talk ahead of time.
Okay, Nancy, how do you handle inviting grown children's partners without awkwardness? I'll let you answer that one. Sometimes that's possible, sometimes it's not.
Yes, that is a challenge, especially if you don't get along with the partner. I would say make it a very independent type of vacation.
Yes.
If you decide that you are inviting the partner, that you have a lot of independent time built in, because they will get very upset if you don't invite their partner for whatever reason, and it would ruin the whole thing. So I think you have to, again, this is a communication thing. You set it up ahead of time. We'd like to do this. And we've had those times when people say, we want this to be a family vacation, and the other person feels, well, this is now part of my family, even though they're not in the family.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head. Have a lot of independent activities where people don't have to be together all the time.
Right. Especially if it's a person.
Nobody's going to get their
Right.
feelings hurt if you talk about it ahead of time. You're
Right.
perfectly free to do this. You don't have to do it with us. That's perfectly okay.
Right. But that if there is a partner that you don't enjoy being with, it's still going to be very difficult.
Yeah.
Even for the times that
Depends
you're
on
together.
Sometimes it's impossible.
So
don't go on vacation.
The question being, how do you handle it? You have to have those conversations up front in terms of what they expect and what you need for your piece. Or don't plan a trip with them. Oh, more questions. We'd love to know, what are your top 3 favorite vacation spots?
Well, for us, look at her. Italy, number 1. And we both love Italy. We love the food. We love the scenery. We even, halfway can speak now rudimentary the language, and it's a lot of fun.
Sì, parlo italiano.
We love Italy.
And it doesn't matter what part of Italy.
Right.
Italy is special in this. Okay, I know I'm Italian and all of that, but
Duh.
but there is a welcoming when you try to speak Italian in Italy. They want to help you. They don't care if you don't say it right. They don't care if you don't phrase it right, if you don't have the correct grammar. They're with you. They want to be with you. And great stories. I mean, I remember I was so lost in Milan. I was traveling by myself. I'm in a rental car. I don't know where the heck I'm going. And if you know Milan, it's circles. The streets aren't like north and south like this. So on this part of the curve, it's one name. On this part of the curve, it's another name. On this part, so the street names are almost meaningless. So I'm driving around and I'm stopped at a light, and a guy is sitting next to me. I am so completely verklempt. And he said, he goes, "Are you okay?" I said, "No, I'm trying to get to this place and I don't know how to get there." So he starts telling me how to go, and he sees I've got a fog over my face, and he just looks at me and he says, "Seguéntame, follow me." He took me all the way to that hotel. I mean, that was it took us at least 10 minutes to get there. So I interrupted his day big time. He had to get back. So that's Italy. That's just one of my favorite stories about Italy.
Well, here's another example of how different we are. One of our first vacations to Italy, I wanted to see a lot of Italy to see which part we liked the most. So we went to Italy for 10 days. We started in Sicily,
Oh,
where her
God.
parents are from, and went to their little, towns of origin, and that was really cool. But basically then in our little car, we drove all the way to Venice in 10 days. We toured all of Italy in 10 days.
No, we didn't tour Italy. We flew by it.
I'm getting to that. I gave her 2 hours in Florence and she was upset. So talk about cramming everything in. My purpose was to see it all and see where we wanted to go back. And and we didn't get enough sleep. We did there's another vacation I did everything wrong.
That's not true. Okay, he's exaggerating. He doesn't do everything wrong. It's at all. Thank you for your patience.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's move on.
Okay, so that was definitely one of our big hot spots. Is definitely
Well, we like Italy. Second favorite vacation is we love cruises. If you do it on the right ship in the right way, we like the entertainment. We like the different ports every day without unpacking.
Yes.
We like
One hotel room.
The food is normally pretty good, very good. My stomach will always say it's good or the scales when I get home. And then probably our favorite is when we went to Alaska.
Alaska. If you haven't been to Alaska, I mean, it's just so beautiful. The vistas are unbelievable. Landing on the glaciers, bicycling down from the Great Train. It's wonderful. Seeing the salmon. It's so beautiful. I have a hard time. Hawaii is beautiful too, but I think Alaska is more beautiful.
Well, it was just a fun cruise. So what would be number 3?
So I think that we like our sun vacations. We've done a lot of time in Hawaii. Hawaii is a wonderful place.
Well, that's because I used to go back and forth on business.
Well, but also, and I like Mexico. I mean, we've done a lot there. But if you're looking for sun, Hawaii or Mexico, they were wonderful.
And depending where you go in Mexico, it's not.
Oh,
the
well,
greatest,
yeah, no.
these days.
No, but I'm saying if you want a sun vacation, there are a lot of exotic places that we haven't gone to that I wouldn't want to travel that far to get to because they're sometimes not a lot there except the sand. I don't actually like the beach, so
And I guess my third favorite vacation is when I took my son. He's a photographer.
Oh,
We toured
yes, that was a great vacation
10
for
of
you.
the most famous national parks out west, and we did that and stayed a couple of days at the parks. He took pictures, and that was spectacular. That was a lot of fun. And a lot of good bonding time with my son.
Smokey.
Okay.
So we hope you'll join us again for another session of LIFE, Living in Full Expression. Thanks for joining us.
Bye-bye.